What's up guys, Long Live Your Turtle here. It's been a long time since I gave a turtle tank update and everything has changed since then, and I want to give you guys an overview of how my turtle tank is set up. So I have a 75-gallon aquarium with 3 turtles, 2 red-eared sliders, and 1 yellow-bellied slider. I also have 2 goldfish. These were originally 15-cent feeder goldfish, and they survived the onslaught of the turtles, and they are massive now, and they just look fantastic in this tank. I also have a snail somewhere in there. He's also survived the onslaught. So let's talk about my turtle tank setup from the bottom up, from the filtration to the basking area. So filtering all the water in the 75-gallon tank with 3 turtles and 2 goldfish is a Fluval FX6 filter. This thing pumps out 925 gallons per hour of water, and that cycles this tank a lot, and that is what a tank with 3 turtles and 2 goldfish really needs. I used to have 2 filters trying to filter this tank, and I would have to clean it monthly, both of them. Maintenance nightmare. This one, however, can go 2 to 3 months without water quality dropping to a point where I need to change the filter, clean it, and change all the water. But you should always do regular water checkups. So hanging out with the filter downtown is my Whisper aeration unit, which provides air to 2 of my air stones in my tank. And I have a timer outlet which powers all the components, but it also powers my lights, which is very important for turtles. They need a place to bask. It needs to be like the sun. The sun comes up and the sun goes down. And over on the right I have the food that I feed my turtles. I have floating sticks and I have red shrimp as a treat. And then I'll give them vegetables or bugs that I find around the house. Just make sure that the turtles can eat them without trouble, and they love a treat. Now to the best part, the center console, the glass, the viewing area, where the turtles live, where the fish live, where the snail lives. Starting from the bottom, I have Playsand from Home Depot. This is very basic sand you can get there. Make sure you rinse it a lot of times. It's very, very dusty, and if you don't, your tank will never become uncloudy, and it's really frustrating to have to drain all the water again, fill it back up, just because you didn't rinse it a couple extra times. So make sure you rinse it. Additionally, I have 3 pieces of driftwood, 1 big one, 2 smaller ones, and I have 3 aquarium rocks that look pretty cool. I actually took them out of one of my fish tanks. And then lastly, I have a plant. Only 1. I had 5. Turtles took care of the 4. And this is the last one. Maybe they hate red, I don't know. But this one survived the onslaught of the turtles. And just to give you a heads up, turtles really like to move things around. They like to search in the sand. They like to search around the driftwood. So they're going to push all this stuff around. If you have some awesome setup you really like, it'll probably be moved unless it's cemented in there. So, I mean, let them be the landscapers. They're actually pretty good at it. This is their landscaping now. Looks great. So, good job, turtles. Otherwise, I have my 2 aeration stones in the back. Gives the bubbles. Everyone likes the bubbles. And then I have the standard heater. Make sure it's a tough heater, shatterproof, because the turtles, again, got a hard shell. They're pretty rugged. They'll slam into things. They don't care. Make sure it doesn't break in the tank. Otherwise, I had my intake and my output from my Fluval FX6 filter. And that's about it for the main viewing area. So let's take a closer look at the basking dock. We got Moses basking. What's up, Moses? He'll probably jump off. So what you're seeing here is a completely DIY above the tank turtle basking platform. So I got this idea off a couple people on YouTube, so thank you, YouTubers. And it's basically a wood frame with walls with a nice seam around the outside so it fits right around the trim of the tank and can't be easily pushed off. I painted it black to match the trim of the tank and the stand. And I used a water resistant paint because obviously it's right over the tank. It's going to get a lot of moisture and you don't want that to start molding and deteriorating immediately once you make it. You want this thing to last. So as you can see, Moses is on the center. He's on a custom cut tile and he's about to jump off, slide down the ramp. And so this ramp is a acrylic sheet that was heated, and then I bent it and then I glued it to the tile, and then I wrapped a ReptiTurf around it. And this easily allows them to climb up the ramp because it's basically a carpet. Claws easily dig in. And then over on the left I have a little nesting box area. I've yet to see any eggs in there. I've seen the turtles hang out. It actually used to be full of half dirt, half sand, and they've pushed out a majority of it. Thank you, turtles. And that joined the sand on the bottom of the tank, which is really no problem. So that's the basking dock. Sits right above the tank, which is awesome because it allows the turtles to have full reign of the entire 75-gallon aquarium, and then they can climb up for a nice soak in the sun. So attached to the basking platform is self-ballasted mercury vapor bulb, and this bulb is really cool because it emits both UVA and UVB heat and light that is required for turtles. The UVB is very important, and a lot of people that don't do their research miss this one, and it can cause soft shell, metabolic bone disease, which will kill your turtle. So having the required lighting is very important. So this bulb can be pretty expensive, but you don't have to buy two bulbs, which is nice, and it reduces clutter over the basking dock. You don't need two deep dome fixtures, and you don't have two wires that need to plug into an outlet. So if we look over to the right, I have an LED light strip, and this actually came off of one of my smaller fish tank setups, and I just threw it on top of the tank with a glass cover, and it looks awesome. Just to give you an overview look here, on the left there's a nice golden light. Going to the right you have a more white light. Going down, the white light continues, fades a little bit, and then goes into a nice darker corner, and I really like the transition there. I think it looks really cool. But another awesome part of this basking dock is there's these acrylic panels that I installed on the front. This is a common design that I saw on YouTube for this kind of basking dock. You basically have two guides, and then you have a custom cut acrylic piece. I put these little knobs on here, but it slides to the right. I can get my hand in here. I can reach in the water. What was this? Chill out, buddy. I can reach in the water. I can reach the dock. I can reach all sorts of things. Same thing on this side. What's up, Moses? I know I just scared you, but I can reach right in. I can maintenance anything up here. I can take it out. It's all modular. Alright. Let me give you an idea of what the back of this thing looks like. So it might be difficult to see. It's a little dark back here. But basically, there's the back panel of the basking dock and the back panel and trim of the aquarium. And you can see there's a gap there. Turtles are too big to fit through that gap, but the intake and outtake tubes of the filter fit in there. The wire for the heater and the tubes for the aeration stones all fit in that gap, and it makes it really easy for access to these components. And it also looks nice because I don't need any of those wires going into the basking area itself. It's all secluded, and it looks really cool. So if you guys like this setup, it's actually fairly simple. And if you like building things, you have a couple tools lying around, I highly suggest you make this for your tank. You get a great viewing area, your turtles get full access to the actual aquarium itself, and it looks really awesome. So overall, that is my turtle tank setup. If you guys have any questions, comments, want me to give more details on certain aspects of this tank, my experience with turtles, leave a comment, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. And that's my 75-gallon fish tank with 3 turtles and 2 goldfish. I hope you like the setup, and you guys have an awesome night, day, morning, whatever it is for you. See ya.